This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, the Chief of the New Zealand Defence Force compares his job to that of those in the local government sector. A Gigatown business development program gets a boost thanks to a visiting technology expert. And a National MP discusses details of the government's upcoming changes to dog control laws. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. The final day of the Local Government New Zealand Conference in Dunedin has been a busy one with several important addresses. The Chief of the New Zealand Defence Force was one of those, taking the time to offer some words of wisdom from his perspective at the top of the nation's military. And he says his role isn't too dissimilar to that of those within local government.
On the edge of their seats. The first address on the last day of the Local Government New Zealand Conference featured Chief of the Defence Force Lieutenant General Tim Keating. He says being the head of the armed forces in New Zealand is quite similar to local government.
Oh, it's quite a wonderful occasion for me to actually get out there and tell the New Zealand Defence story, which has an irony in a way because it's New Zealand's story. So what we're trying to do here is get a greater connection between the New Zealand community and the New Zealand Defence Force. So it's a huge opportunity for me.
He says he's proud to address the conference and firmly believes people should recognise the commitment that New Zealand Defence Service personnel make for the country.
It's a great sacrifice they make. Nobody does it for the money. You don't do our roles for the money. They place themselves at great danger, and they're doing it on behalf of all New Zealanders. Look, I could say it from a Defence Force perspective, but I think there are many people who serve the community, and sometimes New Zealanders, we sort of shy away with that sort of sense of humility. But I think it's good for people to say sort of thank you for serving, you know, from my perspective, the Defence Force, but other people who serve the community. Thank you very much for the service that you give.
Dunedin City Council Chief Executive Sue Bidrose says having the conference in the city has been a great way to show off what's happening locally to other council staff from around the country.
Oh, it's really nice to have an opportunity to show off this extraordinary city, and I've had person after person after person come and say how much they've loved being here. The brisk cold outside reminds them of the Dunedin winter, but the beauty of the city has just struck so many mayors and chief executives and senior staff, senior politicians from around the country. It does warm your heart. It's a really nice thing.
The two-day local government conference is due to wrap up, with delegates off home to share what they've learnt. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
Police are searching for a local man allegedly on the run after failing to appear in the Dunedin District Court. 35-year-old Robert Laxton is believed to be staying with associates in the Mosgiel area. Police warn anyone helping Laxton avoid arrest runs the risk of being charged themselves. Detective Sergeant Chris Henderson says the wanted man is considered dangerous and should not be approached. Anyone with information on Laxton or any sightings is asked to contact Dunedin Police. An American tech expert is in the city to teach locals how to make the most of a business development program. The startup scheme has been running for a year after it was implemented following the Gig City win. And those behind the program say it's only going to get better as time goes on.
Utilising gigabit speed. American Will Joseph is in Dunedin representing Co-Starters, a program aimed at inspiring entrepreneurs keen to turn their business ideas into reality. The scheme was brought to Dunedin last year following the Gig City win, and now, a year on, it's being relaunched.
I'm here for kind of the restart of the Co-Starters program here in Dunedin. We're having a kind of a party, a get-together tonight to celebrate that and to really let the community know what's going on.
The Co-Starters scheme is not entirely new in Dunedin, with the initial local cohort having gone through the program early last year.
It's been here for about a year, just kind of testing it to make sure it works, and we found that it does. And it's just like it has kind of across New Zealand and across the United States. And now we're trying to get it in front of everybody and make it available to as many people as possible in the city of Dunedin.
The 9-week program goes through the basics of running a business, regardless of what the idea behind it may be. It's all about supporting local entrepreneurship, and Joseph is looking forward to sharing his knowledge on the subject.
We also want to gather a community around the world to support communities that are trying to do good things and see startups flourish. So I don't consider myself an expert, but I've gotten the privilege of seeing a lot of things happen. And so I want to bring, as best I can, the voice of that community into Dunedin and celebrate together.
Following the relaunch of the program locally, 2 cohorts are being planned in Dunedin, with the first kicking off in September. And Joseph hopes to expand it to the rest of New Zealand soon after. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
The economic impact of a large oil or gas discovery in New Zealand has dominated the conversation at a meeting held in Dunedin. Cameron Madgwick of the Petroleum Exploration and Production Association spoke with local business representatives about the prospects of further exploration. He says any discovery of a near-offshore field could be worth more than $3 billion, helping create hundreds of jobs in the development phase. However, it's an idea that's already prompting opposition from environmental groups around the country, including those locally. Several changes to the country's dog control laws are being foreshadowed by National MP Louise Upston. She's taken a break from a local government conference to discuss the issues with the members of the New Zealand Kennel Club. And she's taken the time to also meet with one creature it will affect the most.
Getting some furry FaceTime. Associate Minister for Local Government Louise Upston is opening up a conversation about upcoming changes to dog control laws. She's giving the New Zealand Kennel Club a heads up while enjoying some face-to-fur time with their spokesdog Jack.
So one of the big pieces of work I'm working on at the moment is reform of the dog control legislation. So I'm leading into on the 1st of August opening up a public consultation ideas gathering on some of the things that we need to do differently, whether through changing the legislation or through council practice or dog owner practice.
She says the government intends to open up a dialogue to address the harm that some dogs can do in the community. It's an issue that New Zealand Kennel Club Director Secretary Peter Dunn wants to educate elected officials about.
So it's about saying, well, we're already there, we want to do more, there's discussion around dangerous dogs, so we want to be doing more around education for those people that have dogs and those people that don't have dogs. Responsibilities, so it's about narrowing that gap, doing more, working with councils, animal management, SPCA, all types of bodies interested in making dogs more acceptable within society in New Zealand.
The club runs a program designed to make canine good citizens. He says dogs like Jack are living proof that it works. And so far they've got 2 kennel clubs running the program locally.
Here in Dunedin we have 2 clubs, 2 member clubs, Otago Canine Training Club and also the Taieri Canine Training Club. And they're doing very good work in this area. So it's about having people going to them from the age that they get their pup, which is normally 8 weeks, to have it trained, to understand that there are good dogs, not trained properly, they can be problem dogs. So it's about doing things right, as we do for our children with education.
Upston says the draft discussion document on dog laws will be made available for public consultation next month. Jack the dog, out. Daryl Baser, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, the work of a local researcher attracts worldwide attention, and it's not all good, and the call goes out for a relic from the 1970s.
Hi kids, if you'd like to enter a competition and win a trip for you and 2 friends from home to school in a fire truck, see the competition details below.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Driving Miss Daisy is a safe, friendly and reliable companion driving service.
Hello Jean, where are we off to today?
We form genuine friendships with our clients and help them to remain independent. Thousands of Driving Miss Daisy clients and their families love our caring, affordable service. Call us today for a quote on 0800 948 432 or visit drivingmissdaisy.co.nz. Driving Miss Daisy, for the gift of independence.
Thinking of services for older people? Think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
You can make a difference for the SPCA this Cupcake Day. It's the sweetest way to help animals in need. For more details, go to spcacupcakeday.co.nz.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
And mums and dads, we've got a great competition for you too. You can win a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket for your home. Just see the details below.
Welcome back. The country's fruit exports are continuing to prop up the economy while dairy falls. Overall goods exports rose 2.6% in the past year, up $109 million. Fruit led the increase, gaining 31% to push total goods exports for June to $4.3 billion. Meanwhile, the milk powder, butter and cheese commodity group is down $875 million for the same period. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day down 7 points. It's now at 7,310. The Dow Jones is down 78 points. And to the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is down against the yen, but we are up against the other currencies we follow. Evidence that alcohol causes multiple types of cancer is outlined in a new opinion piece penned by a University of Otago academic. It's a piece that's already attracting a lot of interest and feedback for its author, Professor Jenny Connor, and she joins us now to talk about it. Good evening.
Good evening.
How have you come to the conclusion that alcohol causes cancer?
Well, what I've done in this review is I've looked at all the existing evidence, because there is a great deal of it goes back several decades. And I've had a particularly hard look at whether we can justify saying that these associations are causal or whether they're just associations for some other reason. But the evidence is very strong. And in the article I've tried to explain how we come to that conclusion, that it's actually causal, and I've compared it with the idea that alcohol has benefits for your heart. And when you compare the body of evidence, the evidence for that is much weaker.
How long have you been researching the topic?
Well, my own interest in alcohol goes back 10 or so years. It came out of my interest in injury research originally. But just recently I've published a paper that estimates the number of alcohol-related cancer deaths in New Zealand each year. And so I got very interested in the overall body of evidence that this was a causal relationship, and the fact that it's not very well known amongst the public or even amongst policymakers that this actually is a causal relationship.
Were you surprised by the level of interest in your research?
I was a little surprised. There's been a lot of international attention. It's partly because it was published in the leading alcohol journal, which is based in London. And so I think probably the media are very aware of what comes out in that journal. But also it's not so much controversial as just doesn't have a very high profile. And I think the finding that there's no threshold that's completely safe for cancer risk is quite concerning.
What's been the response from the liquor industry?
Well, their response has been consistent with their past behaviour. So the liquor industry has a set of strategies they use, and the most unpleasant ones are about undermining the researchers and the experts personally and damaging their reputations. But more, in this case, we've had more response that's really just to deny that it's true. So to say that there is a lot of evidence and it shows that alcohol doesn't cause cancer, which is just simply not true.
Are there any misconceptions about your work that you want to clear up?
I think one of the things that comes across is that people sometimes assume that an epidemiologist like myself will have a vested interest in the answer to this question. So I don't have that. I mean, I would be delighted if alcohol didn't cause cancer, or if it was even substantially in doubt. That would be a good outcome for health, which is my interest. So I think sometimes people see the alcohol industry and the health experts as two sides of some kind of argument, when in fact public health is interested in the health of the population and the alcohol industry is interested in selling alcohol.
Do you think more needs to be done to stem the flow of contradictory evidence about the health effects of alcohol?
I think it's a very difficult thing for people to absorb the amount of information and the different messages. I mean, this is one of the motivations for writing the paper. It's not aimed directly at the public, but it is aimed at trying to equip people who work in the field with a good sense of why we can draw such a strong conclusion, so that they can counter some of the arguments that it's not true. I think also when we make policy about what kind of policies we should have to control alcohol in the population, we need to take into account all of the different health harms and potential benefits and so on, because people support drinking, they like drinking and they talk about the social benefits, but they need to know about all of the problems that can stem from drinking.
From the University of Otago, Professor Jenny Connor, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, a display at the Settlers Museum blows up, so the hunt is on for a replacement. And there's rain on the way, details soon.
Help delay the signs of ageing with Collagen Plus from Silverhorn. Collagen Plus helps supplement your body's own natural production of collagen, giving you firmer, healthier, younger looking skin, shinier, healthier hair and stronger nails. It's restoring your beauty from within, and it's great value. 3-month supply, that's 180 capsules, is just $98. We'll pay the courier charge to you, and we'll give you a luxurious face cream as well, beauty from the inside and the outside. Give us a call today, 0800 502 402.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
We're a 25 Moreau Place, Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focusing on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
You can make a difference for the SPCA this Cupcake Day. It's the sweetest way to help animals in need. For more details, go to spcacupcakeday.co.nz.
Driving Miss Daisy is a safe, friendly and reliable companion driving service.
Hello Jean, where are we off to today?
We form genuine friendships with our clients and help them to remain independent. Thousands of Driving Miss Daisy clients and their families love our caring, affordable service. Call us today for a quote on 0800 948 432 or visit drivingmissdaisy.co.nz. Driving Miss Daisy, for the gift of independence.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
And mums and dads, we've got a great competition for you too. You can win a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket for your home. Just see the details below.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
Welcome back. Dunedin police say the message simply isn't getting through to students to keep their flats secure after 2 more properties were targeted at the weekend. An Apple laptop and around $50 in cash were taken from a flat in Grange Street on Sunday night. On the same night, there was also an attempted break-in on Heriot Row with damage done to a windowsill. Police say students need to look after their valuables and ensure windows and doors are locked. Staff at Toitū Otago Settlers Museum are on the hunt for a technological relic from the 1970s. A television set housed within a current exhibition has finally done its dash, leaving a gap that needs to be filled. And while the public is being urged to help find the replacement, it's likely to only be a temporary fix.
Setting the scene. The Slice of Life exhibition at Toitū Otago Settlers Museum showcases the findings of the world-renowned Dunedin study. The display has a series of decade sets with furnishings and technology from the time eras of the study. But one of the key elements is now missing.
The 1970s TV has died, so we need to find a replacement, and we're hoping that someone in Dunedin has that replacement for us.
The 1970s set ran a loop of popular children's shows from the decade, including Spot On, Rainbow and Sesame Street. Toitū staff say the TV is an important part of the exhibition, impacting the entire feel of the set.
Oh look, I think that both the TV and the sound are really important features of each of the rooms. They really help set the scene. It's amazing how that can help take someone back to that time frame.
Staff are finding that having period-accurate technology in the exhibition comes with its own challenges.
The last TV that we had lasted, I think, maybe 4 months. So this exhibition runs for 12 months. I'm hoping we don't have to come back and ask again, but 1970s TVs, I think they were unreliable at the time. They're still proving to be that way.
There is, however, a catch for whoever donates a TV set to the Slice of Life exhibition. As with all the objects on display, it won't be returned. Jack Conroy, 39 Dunedin News.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. The New Zealand Defence Force Chief is drawing parallels between his work and local government as part of the final day of a conference. A program aimed at encouraging local entrepreneurs to start their own business is launching in Dunedin relaunching with the help of an American tech expert. And MP Louise Upson is using her time in the city to discuss upcoming changes to the country's dog laws with those who will be most affected. Well, it's time now to find out what's going to be in Wednesday's Otago Daily Times, and Phil Somerville joins us. Good evening.
Hi Rebecca. Fresh pages tomorrow, and stews and casseroles from Alison Lambert from around the world.
and they looked very nice before tea was just coming up. There's also a vitamin story about vitamin D, and also curries. Cuts the Humanities, there are stories about that, and Baldwin Street, the circus that is Baldwin Street. It's received a lot of publicity around the world, and so we went to Baldwin Street to chat to some of the people that lived there, see what it was like. I was mentioned the opinion page, don't do that very often, story about the success of the stadium and from a point of view of non-rugby events, entertainment events.
Very interesting. That'll be in tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Phil. Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
Here is our city view today. It's taken of Queen Victoria. Around the city at 3 o'clock, 11 degrees in the central city, 12 at the Gardens and 13 for the Tyree. To the situation, and a milder westerly airstream will cover the country from tomorrow, with cold fronts moving across us from the Tasman Sea. To the forecast for the main towns in the lower south for tomorrow. Nor'westers with cloud increasing for both Invercargill and Gore, 14 apiece. Nor'westers with rain later in the day in Te Anau, 12 degrees there. Northerlies for Alexander with some high clouds and a high of 13. And nor'westers with some high cloud for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel. In Dunedin tonight we're expecting brief showers, but they will clear. Tonight's low 5 degrees. Tomorrow sunny periods at first, but high cloud will increase later on, and nor'westers will freshen during the evening, the high of 14. And on Thursday, early showers clearing with gusty westerlies easing, going for 13 degrees. To the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information, high tide tomorrow morning is at 20 to 10, low tide follows at 4:30. And fishing conditions look good, bright and early tomorrow morning at 20 past 6. And that's all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for Tuesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.